Oh, the chat is empty. Hello everyone, welcome to my stream. Hello, hello. We're gonna be talking about burns today. Although, I already had a stream about burns. Like, years ago, if I remember correctly. I don't remember. When was my last burn stream? Let's see. Hello, Mango Bravo. Hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. Wait, I am looking at... What is my... I don't remember when my last burn stream was. I'm looking for it right now. Medical education. Okay. My last burn stream was... What is this? Oh, this was so long ago, guys. 4 years ago. 4 years ago. And I was still using my old model. I think that was it. Yeah, that's only yeah. That was a long time ago. Burning evening, Doc. Hello, good afternoon. Alright, so we're gonna redo this burn stream. I basically edited the old PowerPoint. I added a few things, changed a few stuff, but basically burn treatment hasn't really changed much. It's the same. I'm just gonna go a little bit more detailed. Alright? So so that by the end of this stream, by the end of this education stream, you'll know how burns are treated and how to treat burns. Okay, you'll know how to. By the end of the stream, you guys should know how to treat minor burn injuries. Okay, and what to do if if you or someone you know gets burnt. Okay. KK. Alright, so let's go, let's get to it. Let's open up the PowerPoint. Okay, I'm gonna go to it right now. Kamusta? Hello, Kujo. Alright, guys! Welcome to the burn stream, where we're gonna talk about burns. Okay? And look at this lovely image of me with my burning boobies. with my flaming boobies right here. Parang ibang burns yung naka-display to. Yes, this beautiful art was made by my Mama Nesbox. If you need this is the art actually on my Booba mousepad, which I'm still planning to sell, by the way. So guys, if you're from the Philippines, the Booba mousepad will be sold. I'm still selling these. I will still sell these. I'm gonna see if I can bring this abroad for those who are not in the Philippines. Probably gonna talk to Uwo Market about that. Alright. Okay, guys. Let's go. I'm gonna talk about burns. Alright, so before we talk about burn injuries, we're gonna talk about total body surface area, okay? So total body surface area is basically the percentage when you want to talk about what area of how much of the body was burnt. We call it the total body surface area. Okay? Oh wait, why is there no music? I have no music here. Let's turn on the music. There we go. Alright. So, we have 3 ways of doing, of estimating the total body surface area. So, one of them is this, the Lund and Browder burn chart. Okay? So, this one I don't use much, but this is the most accurate way of measuring burn. It's just that I don't use this much because it's slower. There's a quicker way to do it because we know burn patients are classified also as trauma patients. So when you're dealing with trauma patients, you gotta be fast. You can't be calculating all this shit like very slowly. Okay, but I'll tell you how the London burn chart works. So let's say we have here the body. This is the body facing towards you. We call this the anterior. And then over here with the nice buttocks here, this is the posterior part of the body. Okay. So in this chart, if we're gonna talk about children, by the way, in medicine, when we talk about children, and it is always emphasized that children are not mini adults. Okay, children are not mini adults. Children are like a different classification by themselves. As you can see here, look, if a child is less than 1 year old, you're gonna use a different percentage. If a child is 1, you use a different percentage. If a child is 5, different percentage. If 10, if it's 15, until adult. So, yeah. So let's say we're dealing with an adult here, okay? And we have, if we look here, if we look at the adult, the head covers 3%. Okay? And that's only one side of the head. Anterior side of the head covers 3.5%. Okay? The back of the head is also 3.5%. Alright? So, and then, B, thighs. So, B, so look at, and then, oh, you also have here the neck. You can see there's a 1. That means 1%. Okay? And then if we look at the legs, the thighs, the anterior part of the thighs covers 6.5%. The back is another 6.5. Okay, so it's the same thing with the lower leg. The leg, it's 3.3.5, and then the back another 3.5. Okay, that's how it is. It's a little tough to calculate, but this one is the most. This is the most accurate out of all the ways we estimate total body surface area. But I don't personally use this one that much because I go for the quicker one. Okay. And the quicker one, go next. The rule of nines. This one is it was in my old PowerPoint. The rule of nines. This is the one I usually use, and the third one, which I'll show later. Basically, this whole head right here. The front of the head, including the neck, is 4.5%. The back of the head, including the neck, is 4.5%. The front of the torso is 18. The back of the torso, including the buttocks, is 18. The little crotch here is 1%. The front of the upper extremity is 4.5. The back of the upper extremity is 4.5. And then 9 in the front of the legs and 9 in the back of the legs. Okay? So, as a surgeon or as doctors, we have to memorize this. So every time we receive a burn patient, we look at the body, and then let's say he has a burn spot right here. Let's say he has a burn right here. Just here. Let's say, let me draw. I'm gonna draw. Let's say, let's say he has a burn right here. This is a burnt area. See that? How many percent total body surface area is burnt? So, we just estimate it. If this is 4.5%, perhaps this is just like 1% of the arm. 1%. So, his TBSA, or total body surface area, burnt area, is 1%. That's it. That's how you do it. That's how it's done. It's that simple. Okay? Now let's say this got burnt right here. then that's 1%. Okay? And then, let's say, let's say this part. This much got burnt. This much, up to there. This part of his body got burnt. The front, and let's say at the back of his arm over here. This much got burnt. How much of the total body surface area was involved? So if the front of the body is 18, but only half was burnt, around half, so this is 9%, right? This is 9%. And then you have this spot over here, so the arm is 4.5, but you can estimate this to be 1%. That means the total, the TBSA is around 10%. Okay? That's how it is. It's that easy. It's really it's really just estimating. Okay? Now, so that's the rule of nines. The reason why, by the way, it's called rule of nines, by the way, is because 4.5 plus 4.5 is 9%, so the whole head is 9%. A whole arm, 4.5 plus 4.5 is 9%, so the whole arm is 9%. Half of the body is 9%, so if you add both sides of this, both halves, it'll be 18, right? Same thing at the back, half is 9%, this is 9%. The front of the leg is 9%, the back of the legs is 9%. That's the only reason why it's called rule of nines. Okay? This is about how much an area can get burnt before medical treatment is necessary. More like how you determining how much of the total body surface area is burnt. I'm just teaching you guys that. It doesn't matter how small or big your burn is. You still need treatment. Okay. Next. The other one is the palm method. So if you open your hand just like this, that's 1%. So this is another easy method. So all you gotta do is get the patient's palm, look at it, that's 1%. So let's say this right here, this is 1%, yeah? 1%. So if he holds, let's say he holds this part of his hand, if he holds this part of his arm, that means that's 1% burn. If he holds this part of his leg, let's say that part, that's 1%. Okay? That's basically it. That's the Palmer method. So, like, for example, his whole arm in front, the anterior part of his arm, is equal to 4.5 pounds. So that's the Palm method. Because it's 4.5%. Okay? Does this apply to chemical burns? It applies to all burns. Okay? Hi, Fichu. Hello, hello. So that's basically it. It's that simple. It is that simple, okay? That is the Palm method. Alright, here are the pros and cons for each method. Okay? So the chart I showed you earlier is standardized by age, so that's why it's more accurate. As I said, gold standard accuracy. Okay? But it's time consuming. Like I said, most burn patients are trauma patients. So you need to be fast. So rule of nines is very quick and simple. I use this a lot. Okay, there is a risk of overestimation, yes. There is a risk of this. But it's the quickest way. Okay, Palmer method is another one. It's very useful for patchy burns. So let's say you got splashed with hot water and you just have patches of burns, you can use Palmer method. So yeah, and the disadvantage of it is because it varies from person to person. Okay. nose. Didn't know there was a risk of shock. Well, it burns, yes. Yes, I'll tell you why. Alright, next. Actually, to be fair, this is actually a short this is a short lecture. Alright, classification of burns. Oh wait, I think this is more of types of burns, not classes. Sorry, this is not classification of burns. I think this is types of burns. So there are different types of burns. One is thermal burn, so anything heat related. So flame burns, scalp burns, or contact burns, you know. Anything where you come in contact to flames, to something hot, or a hot object, those are thermal burns. So these are the most common burn in a child, by the way, is a scalp burn, because these children like to play with things. Like parents that leave their hot coffees on the table thinking their child is not gonna reach for it. Oh no, a lot of children go reach for that hot cup of coffee, or that bowl of sinigang, or that bowl of tinola that you left on the table. They're gonna reach out to it until it falls onto their heads and burns them. It's very common. But scalp burns are very common, by the way. Even chefs. I've had patients who are chefs and they suffered some either scalp burns because they were cooking, or like flame burns. Because, you know, yung gasol sumabog or something. So yeah. Okay? So these are thermal burns are the most common. I myself got burned by I got burned from the muffler of a freaking motorcycle because I was paying a Grab rider and the coins I was paying dropped, so I went to pick it up and I didn't notice my arm was like near the muffler and I burnt myself. But it's a really tiny burn, so yeah. I burned my hand when I sneezed while holding a measuring cup of kettle with water that splashed out. See? Yeah, it hurts. It stings so much. And yes, children, they like to grab things. So better watch your children, or watch your nieces and nephews that are very young. They just want to grab things that they're not supposed to grab. Next is electrical burns. Okay, this one is another common one, especially in occupational. Those people who handle electric wires. So there are two types of electrical burns. There's the low voltage and the high voltage. Low voltage is minor. It's easy to treat. High voltage is a different story. Now, the thing with electric burns, these are... So, with electric burns, you get electrocuted, yes? These are quite deadly, because if you can see over here... my body's covering it. Oh, sorry, my body's covering this. Let me move a bit. If you see over here, this right here on my left side right here... This is an illustration of how the electricity passes through your body. Remember that humans are made of water. We are a water. We conduct electricity. So if you touch a live wire, or if you get electrocuted, there is always an entry point and an exit point. So the entry point, for example, this poor person right here decided to touch this electric wire, sparking electric wire. The current is gonna go from the point of contact. It goes through the heart, by the way. It can go through the heart and then out a certain area, usually the feet. Okay, it goes like that. And that's why it's dangerous, because the heart is involved. The heart is involved in electrical burns. That's why when we receive electrical burn patients, we really need to observe them. Because the heart can stop. The heart can just stop. Okay? The heart can just stop. That's how dangerous it could be. Like, that's why when we deal with electrical burns, it's not just like treating the physical burn that you see, it's also making sure the heart is working properly and that there is no damage to the heart. That's why it's more complicated. See? Alright, next. Chemical burns. So basically acids, bases, you know, those things. Accidentally pour some sulfuric acid on yourself or whatever, and then burn. Anything that is a chemical that causes a burn on you, that is a chemical burn. If I remember correct, oh, hair dyes can cause chemical burns, by the way. Depends on your skin. Some people are allergic to hair dyes, and it can cause a chemical burn, so that's one. Yeah, caustic soda. You know the caustic soda. People who are suicidal like to drink that. I had to deal with patients who actually tried to gulp caustic soda. It is not pretty, by the way. I've had a patient who did that, but luckily she only drank like a small sip or something, so she turned out okay, but we had to monitor her. But I did have a patient that freaking drank a whole bottle, and yeah, that patient didn't make it, man. That patient didn't make it, definitely didn't make it. As soon as as soon as she was opened up, because they had to do surgery on her, they opened her up, everything was black in there. And basically, they couldn't do anything. It was just, her stomach was just dark and black, and there was really nothing you could do. Really nothing. It was like, we call it an open close, where you open up the patient, and you see that there is really nothing to do, or nothing you can do, and they had to close her up. See? Alright, next. Radiation burn. Okay, so you get radiation burn. So, most common type of radiation that you are exposed to is the sun, by the way. UV rays. So basically, if you're just out there in the sun, you're exposing yourself to radiation. You're just exposing yourself to the sun's radiation, UV rays, okay? Yes, Godzilla is a perfect example of other types of radiation. You gotta come in contact with Godzilla, you're gonna burn yourself. Okay? Another one is like, you know, Chernobyl. And also, actually, the World War II? The atomic bombs. That one. Like, I think, when was it? This year? Yeah, earlier this year, I went to Japan. Yeah, I actually had a trip, I went on a 10-day vacation in Japan earlier this year, and I went to Nagasaki Museum. And, no, not Nagasaki, Nagasaki Atomic Bomb Museum, where they showed, basically they showed what happened, like, where the bomb dropped, how much of Nagasaki was affected. They even showed the effects of the radiation on the people, and on the buildings and objects that were there. So when I went to the part of the museum where they were showing the effects of the radiation burns, radiation of the people, it was not pretty. They even had photos. They had photos of them, and it's not pretty. I didn't want to put the photos here. You can just search it up, because the photos are not pretty at all. It is not nice to look at. Hi Chado, hello. Katakot talaga yung history. Yeah, it's really bad. It's very bad. I remember they even put testimonials there. They had a section full of people who were affected by the radiation, and there were testimonials. The one that really struck me was about this child. No, not really child. What struck me was he was a child at that time. He was a child at that time looking for his sister. I think his sister or brother. Actually, his sister or his brother was stuck under some debris. I don't know if it was a piece of wood or debris. And since he was a child, I think he was 6 or something, 6 or 8. He was too small. He couldn't really lift the debris, right? And he was looking for his mom. Until finally he saw his mom walking towards them. And the mom didn't look like his mom. The mom had like melting skin. She was like walking towards, and she was all slimy and then didn't look very nice. And what she did was she bent over and then lifted the debris over her child, over the sibling, and the kid was able to come out. The kid was able to crawl out. And when the kid crawled out, the mother died. The mother died just right there. She just spent the last of her breath helping her kid, and then she just died when the kid crawled out. And I was like, oh my god. Did they show what's this? The baked in shadows from the what do you mean what? They show the baked in shadows from the explosion. What do you mean? But anyway, yeah, it was a very it was a story that has that's like stuck in my memory forever. Like every time if people will talk to me about the atomic bombing and Nagasaki, I would just remember that story. It was a very sad story. It's very sad. People's shadows on the ground that got seared into the ground. Oh yeah, there was stuff like that. They showed how people were walking out. They were trying to get out of Nagasaki and they had to walk. And they were just dying. They were just dropping like flies while walking. So they had no water. So they were burnt, and they were all burnt. They had no water, so no fluids. And they would just die. They would just drop dead while they're trying to get out of Nagasaki. Okay. Alright, so next. Alright, burn death. Okay, this one would be like the classification of burns by their depths. Okay. First degree burn is called a superficial burn, so this is basically a sunburn. And when you have sunburn, it's painful. Okay, that shit stings. What happens is your skin turns red. It starts stinging. And then eventually your skin starts peeling off, right? The epidermis just peels off. That is a superficial burn or a first degree burn. Okay? Where does friction burn? Oh, friction burn. Friction burn, I think, would be more on thermal because when you do friction produces heat. I think that goes more on thermal burns. Alright. Next, so, oh, by the way, treatment for first degree burn, but the treatment for this is very conservative. You don't really need to treat this, actually. You don't need to put anything. You can just take some pain relievers. It'll heal on its own. So you just stay away from the sun when you're like this. Just stay away. Always wear sunscreen, guys. Always wear sunscreen. And this is the type of burn where you don't really need to do much. Okay. Next, second degree burn, but we don't call this second degree burn. Medically, we call it a partial thickness burn, so it's either superficial or it's deep. So, let me show you. When we say superficial partial thickness burn, this type of burn reaches the dermis. Okay? It reaches the dermis, and superficial are usually red. So this area right here, this is red, right? It's pink. That's a superficial partial thickness burn here. But you see an area where it's a little pale. This is slightly pale, yeah? The slightly pale areas, like this one right here, those are called deep partial thickness burns. Okay? So, superficial partial thickness burns are more pinkish. These are painful, by the way. These are painful. They are pinkish. Deep partial thickness burns are just slightly deeper and they're not as pink. They're whitish. They're also very painful. Yes, these are the ones that blister. So if you have a burn, they're the ones that blister. And then when you pop the blister, this is what it looks like underneath. It's pink. Okay? Isn't this the most painful burn? Yes, the reason why it's the most painful burn is because it is in the dermis. Okay, and the dermis is where most of the nerve endings are, right? So this is your epidermis. This is the dermis, yeah? This is the subcutaneous tissue. The dermis is where all your, your hair follicles, this is the hair follicles, and your sweat glands are. These are the sweat glands. The nerves are all here. The nerves are in this area. Nerves are in the dermis. So that's why it hurts, because this is the area that's burnt. So it hurts a lot. Okay. The nerves are here. Let's draw some nerves. Let's draw nerves. Nerves. I don't know. Draw some nerves. I don't know how to draw nerves. So. But basically, that's the reason why they hurt so much. Alright, next. The next one is 3rd degree, or a full thickness burn. So this one is not painful. So this is your epidermis. This is your dermis, right? This is the hair follicles. Like sweat glands. Sweat glands like these things. Nerves. The thing with full thickness burn, why they're not, this is fat to fat. The thing is with these ones, full thickness burns are basically burns that burn through the dermis, so all that is gone. The burn is here. So nerves are damaged, that's why it's not painful. Okay? These are painful. I mean, not painful, because the nerves are gone. The nerves are gone. Yeah, the nerve endings got burned, so this is not painful. So basically, when it comes to burns, if they don't feel any pain, if the patient does not feel pain when you play around with their burn, that means it's deep. That means it's bad. When it comes to burns, if there is no pain, that's bad. Okay? So, usually, full thickness burns are much whiter. They're white. They can start turning dark like this. Actually, this one might be a little even deeper. Okay? It goes through the skin layer, yes. Deeper through the skin layer. It's already reached the fat. Okay. And lastly, we have the 4th degree burns. So basically, you're just fried. And here I have a little gif of Anakin Skywalker getting burned alive. So basically, Anakin Skywalker has achieved the 4th degree. Okay? So, yeah. This is the perfect example of a 4th degree burn, by the way. I remember during one of my Milsim campaigns, we had to deal with a Marine who was suffering from 3rd degree burns. Had to pull him out of burning HMV, which is all over his body. Yeah. Man on fire. He never got the high ground. God. Anyway, so yeah. He is a perfect example of a 4th degree burn. Alright, so here we go. Here's a summary of it all. Okay. So, first degree, or the superficial partial thickness burn. It is painful, it does not blister, it does not scar. It's just on the epidermis level. Okay? Just the epidermis level. And then, superficial part, if you have the second degree, superficial partial thickness burn, it reaches the dermis. So this one is just at the surface of the dermis. Okay, and deep partial thickness is a little deeper into the dermis. Okay. So, for superficial partial thickness burns, you don't really need surgery, you just need to do daily wound care. But if you're a little deeper, they might need surgery, usually debridement. Okay? Or debridema. These are the ones that blister, and are very wet. Okay, the deeper the burn is, the more risk of infection they are. That's why you really need to make sure these are clean. Okay. Third degree is this one. So these are more dry. They're kind of leathery when you feel them. They're a bit leathery. This is a lot deeper. Not really. It is not painful, as you can see. Insensate to light touch and pinprick. So there is no pain because it's very deep. Okay. These are the types that may need a lot of skin grafting. Actually, this one may also need skin grafting. It just depends really on how deep and how bad it is. And then you have the fourth degree burn, which reaches all the way up to the bone. This basically needs amputation. This is a loss of the area already. It is loss of the area. Okay? The problem with, with each, burn, the higher, the more complicated, or the harder it is to treat. The easiest to treat, of course, would be these two. Full thickness would need surgery, so you'll have to remove the burnt area. And it can be very deep. This is where you can either you have to do some sort of grafting, or you can let it heal on its own, but it takes longer. Okay? Yeah. Alright, next. Here's another table. Okay, here's another table with grosser pictures. So superficial, epidermis only. Okay. This one is supposed to be sunburn. Sunburns don't blister, so this is kind of wrong. It's a bit wrong. First degree is a superficial burn. It does not blister. Your skin will peel but not blister. Blisters are more on these second degree burns. So superficial and deep partial thickness burns. Okay. Deep partial thickness are painful. Maybe not as painful as superficial, but they do have some pain to them. Full thickness, there is no pain at all. Okay, it is leathery. And then full thickness is Anakin Skywalker. Okay. And yeah. Alright, next. Okay, this one was not in my what do you call this? In my past PowerPoint presentation? What's this? Does a 5th degree exist? 5th degree? It's only until 4, guys. It's only until 4. I don't know. It's only until 4. Alright, so burn center criteria. This one is something we need to know as doctors, okay? So there are certain criteria wherein you have to, if a burn patient comes to a hospital and it's a very bad kind of burn, if the burn meets any of these criteria, they have to transfer to another hospital that has a burn center or a burn unit. So any patients with burns and concomitant trauma, meaning like they have a burn, they got burned, and then they have a fracture. Like those people who got burnt and then they fell off a building and they're still alive. They need to be in a burn unit, okay? Because the trauma, the fracture is already bad enough, and then you're still burnt. That's going to make it a lot more complicated than it already is. Children. Burns in children without qualified personnel or equipment for the care of children. Because, children are not many adults. They require a special type of care. So if the hospital does not have any burn specialists for children, they gotta transfer to a burn unit. Patients who have burns and that need like special social rehabs. So basically, yung mga psych na kailangan ilipat sa burn center. Okay. Burns in patients who have pre-existing medical disorders, like let's say diabetes or any existing illness that would interfere with treatment of the burn, make it more complicated. They need to be in a burn center or a hospital equipped with stuff like that. Okay, the hospital equipped with burn facilities. Burns that involve the face, the hands, the feet, the genitals, the perineum. The perineum is basically your ass area and major joints. They need to transfer. The reason for this is because these patients are at risk, especially where the hands, the feet, genitals, these are sensitive areas. In joints, these are prone to contractures. So if you get burnt in the joint, especially if it's a bad burn, there's a high chance that you won't be able to move your arm around or your leg around so much because of a contracture. It's when when the burn heals, the skin isn't as elastic as it used to be. And you won't be able to freely move your arm or leg much. Burns in the face, the reason why for this is because any burns in the face, especially near the nose area, the nose and mouth are the axis or have access to your lungs, so it's very possible that if you had a burn on your face, you might have had internal injury to your burn injury to your trachea or your airways, even to your lungs. That's the reason why. Okay. Chemical burns. Burn center. Good. Okay. Electrical burns also, especially lightning injuries. You get struck by lightning for some. If RGB was, if RGB just decided to choose you, RGB, putik, RGB. if RNG has decided to choose you, and you get struck by lightning, it's considered a very high voltage electrical burn. RNG kasi. Well, technically, RGB can give you electrical burns, as Gabby Cross said. Yeah. Kakagacha mo, doctor. And here we go. Inhalational injury, like I said. Any burns to the face, kind of same. Burns to the face, you can actually inhale the flames or anything hot. It burns your trachea, your airways. Okay. Partial thickness burns on more than 10%. So if you calculate your TBSA to be 10% or more than 10%, then you have to transfer them. And then there's also third degree. Third degree burns, you gotta transfer them out. Okay. And as far as I know, this might not be the only list, but these are the ones they always tell us when I was in my residency. There are only 6 or 7 burn centers in the Philippines, so basically only 5 in Manila area. UP, PGH, Jose Reyes, East Ave, Quirino, Medical City Clark, and then there's one Davao Medical Center, and this one's in Cebu. Vicente Soto Memorial. So yeah, most of the time we send our patients to either PGH or Jose Reyes. Or yeah, East Avenue. Yeah. Of course, sometimes this is not followed. It is ideal to follow this, but you know, sometimes some patients just refuse to transfer. Like they'd be like, "Alayo kasi eh, dito na lang." So some patients would just stay in ill-equipped hospital. Like doctors can explain, you gotta transfer to PGH or you gotta transfer to Jose Reyes kasi hindi kami equipped. And they'll be like, "Dok, kasi ang layo, walang mag-aalaga," or yada yada yada. Wala. And then we'd have to, sometimes we'd have to deal with patients. We would have to take care of these patients, but the problem with that is that they are not given the ideal care. So they're not given the proper care. We try with what we have, but you know, more of the story, don't get burned. Yes. Alright, so next. Okay, treatment. Treatment of burns. Okay, guys, do you have any questions before we go to treatment of burns? Because we have some example cases, by the way, that you guys are going to be doing. Doc, may quiz pa ba? Gusto mo ng quiz eh? Sige. Technically, the questions I'm gonna be asking in the next few slides are the quiz. Okay? Would there be internal organ burns? Well, technically, well, yeah. If you inhale hot steam or, like, flames, that's basically burning your trachea or your airways or your lungs. Doc, maging prito ba yung itlog ng lalaki if sunog? Ano? Hard-boiled. Alright, I guess there's not much questions. Next. Okay, treatment. Alright. Math. The treatment is math. Okay? Mathematics. Alright, the treatment for burn. So if it's sunburn, you don't need to do anything. If it's a superficial partial thickness burn, and if it's only very small, if it is very small, all you have to do is just treat the area, okay? With a cream, silver sulfadiazine. Yes, there's a formula. We gotta know this. So if we're dealing with a patient that has like a 10% or more burn, we have to do this. Okay? And the formula is, this is why you have to know the total body surface area, because it's part of the formula. You also gotta know his weight, okay? You also gotta know the weight. So, the formula is 4 times the TBSA times the weight in kilograms. Okay? And whatever the amount is, or the total is the amount of fluids that you will give to the patient, which is plain lactated Ringer solution, or PLR. But you don't just give it then and there. There's a certain way to give it. The first 50% of that is given in the first 8 hours. And then the next half of that is given over the course of 16 hours. Okay? Excuse me. Okay, so yeah, math is important, boys and girls. Math is very important. Okay, so let's, I'm gonna get my tablet, guys. I'm gonna get my tablet. We're gonna do some sample computations, boys. Alright. Sample na. Sample. Oh, wait. Hold on. Before I do that, I need to actually turn on my tablet here. Okay. Alright. Sample! Let's say we have red, orange. Okay. Let's say we have a patient that came with a kunwari TBSA niya TBSA niya is he has a burn that is around, let's say 20%. Tapos ang weight niya weight niya 60. Calculate nyo na. What is how much fluid do you need to give this patient? Calculate na. Ako din magka-calculate kasi hindi ko alam yung sagot. Sagot, chat, sagot. Wait ko mga 48 lang. Ginawa akong 60. Para tumaas ng konti. Calculate. Give me the answer. Give me the answer. I'll just tell you if it's right or wrong. Okay, Bun says 4. Ano to? 4 times point. Okay. No. When do not consider 20% as 0.2, okay? 20% as a whole. 20% as a whole. Hindi kailangan 0.2. It is not 0.2. Do not consider 20% as a 0.2. Consider the 20% as a whole. So it's 20. It's just 20. Ano na, chat? Sagot! Bun has an answer. Who else, chat? Calculator lang, gagamitin nyo lang yung cellphone nyo. Di nyo magamit cellphone nyo. Open notes na nga to eh. With calculator tong quiz na to. Anong unit? This is ml. 48. Okay, yeah, it's 4,800, okay? The answer is 4,800. So, the total fluids you're gonna be giving to the patient is 4,800 ml, yeah? Okay? So, 50% is given in the first 8 hours. So, you can do 4,800 divided by 2. Diba? Divided by 2. 4,800 divided by 2. Chat, anong sagot? 2,400. Okay, very good, SwitchCon. Very good. So the answer is 2,400. Your base, so how do what you're going to do is you're gonna give 2,400 to the patient in the course of 8 hours. Okay? And then in the next 16 hours, it's 2,400 also. Now, if I want to be more the thing is we go a step even further, chat. Kasi now if you know that first 8 hours, you give diba 2,400, right? 2,400, and then 16 hours you give also 2,400. The next question is how many ml How many how many milliliters per hour is that? How many milliliters per hour is that? So you're gonna divide this you're gonna divide this some more. So it's gonna be like 2-4. Itong first 8 hours, magiging 2-4 divided by 8. Para alam mo kung ilang ml per hour. Right? And then the next 16 hours, you're gonna divide it also. 2-4 divided by 16. That's how many milliliters per hour you're gonna give. And that's how much the nurse is going to control the rate of the fluids. Okay? And that is math. Calculate ko nga, di ko I hate math. To be honest, guys, I hate math. This is why I don't really like burns so much. 300. Okay, very good, chat. Ang galing-galing nyo, chat. 300 ml per hour yan, diba? Tapos, pag 16 hours, the other one is on 150 ml per hour. Per hour to. Okay. So, that's how. That's how it is in when it comes to burns, okay? We gotta do the math. Kasi, we're as the doctors, we're gonna calculate this. And we have to know how to calculate this because this is what's gonna be in our orders. So, for example, itong burn patient, start 300 start PLR 1 liter or no, start PLR 300 ml per hour to run for 8 hours, right? To run for 8 hours, and then 150 ml per hour to run for 16 hours. That's going to be our orders in the chart of the patient. Okay. Unfortunately, as doctors, we can't escape math. Alright, so next. Okay, since alam nyo na. Okay, guys, remember the formula. 4 times TBSA times weight. Okay, so now we're going to have our first case. Example case number 1. Okay? We have JTR, who is a young adult male, accidentally spilled boiling water on his left hand while preparing instant noodles. Okay? So he reluctantly goes to Supporter Hospital ER to be treated by the resident supporter. So kayo yon, chat. Chat, it's you. You're gonna be treating JTR, this young adult male. Okay? Kawawa naman tong si JTR, laging may, laging na-hospital. Kawawa naman. Alright, so, ayan, ito, you saw JTR, guys, you saw JTR. Ito yung burn niya, it's on his left, all over his left hand. Okay, wait, nga pala, I forgot to, ayan, yun lang muna. It's on his left hand, guys. He has a burn there. Okay, left hand niya. Ang question. What is his TBSA, guys? DOA. DOA. Grabe naman. Napaso lang yung niya. Okay. What is his TBSA? The clue is there, by the way, guys. How many percent? I already talked about this. It's his whole hand, by the way. You notice? Anteriorly, it's his whole it's his whole left hand. Okay? So anteriorly may burn dito, anteriorly may burn dito. 1, 2, 1/2. Okay. 2. Okay. Those who answered 2 are correct. Those who answered 1, mga mali. Hindi kayo nakikinig. Either di kayo nakikinig or late kayo. You guys are either late or you didn't listen. Okay, it's 2% because, like I said, so the palm is 1%, right? This is 1%. But the back, this is the back of his hand, right? The other part, the other side of his hand is also burnt, so that's another 1%. So that's 2. Okay? It's 2%. Okay? So, he has a burn on his hand. Okay, chat, what are you gonna do to him now? The answer is 2. Let's add an additional question. Anong gagawin nyo kay JTR? Anong advice nyo? Kunwari kayo yung doktor ni JTR. Chats, let's see, supporter plans. Supporter plans. Oh, chat, what is your plan for JTR? Amputation. Grabe naman. Amputation agad. Ilublob sa liquid nitrogen. Sunugin yung kabila para pantay. Bastos talaga kayo. Walang hiya kayo. Kawawa naman tong si JTR. Singilin ng St. Peter. Then came Bantali. Paulit-ulit na kasi tanggalin na natin. Bastos talaga kayo. Ay, nako. Kawawa naman tong si JTR. Nako, okay. So, yung plan ng iba, amputation. Ano yung plan ng iba? Sunugin yung kabila. Burn other hand. Guys, pag doktor kayo, matatanggalan kayo ng lisensya. Si Pichu lang yung matino. Okay, si Pichu lang yung matino, sumagot. Okay, si Dr. Fichu, suggest, divert to PGH, transfer to PGH, oh. Buti pa tong si Pichu. yung iba sa inyo, wala. Matatanggalan ng lisensya. Hindi. Okay. Ganito, guys. Alright. If you... Kunwari, okay, let's do... I'll tell you guys what you really should do, okay? Kasi malay mo, kayo, nagluluto kayo, gagawa kayo ng instant noodles, napasok kayo, you accidentally burnt yourself. Okay? Kyosa, thank you for the membership! Yay! Nakatulog ako buong lesson, so ito muna compensation kami. Thank you! Oh, a milestone, thank you! Okay. Kung nga pala, may mga milestone membership. Chorla. Anyway, ganito. This is what you do. Kasi malay mo, kayo, magluluto kayo. Like, for example, you're making instant noodles, you spill the water on yourselves. Or nagluluto kayo ng hard-boiled egg, tapos you just decided to dip your hand in the boiling water. For some weird reason, you decided to put your hand in boiling water. Di ko lang bakit, pero ganun nangyari sa inyo. Okay? I'll tell you what you guys do. Okay? You can actually, yes, you can divert to PGH, but if it's only a 2% burn, you can also treat it with silver sulfadiazine, okay? This is like a white cream. So what you do is, if it is just a superficial partial thickness burn, you just gotta put this cream and then wrap it around with wet gauze. So it's called sandwich dressing. So silver sulfadiazine, gauze wet with saline solution, and then dry gauze on top. Okay. Okay. If it's just a superficial partial thickness burn. Usually scalp burns are superficial, partial thickness burns. So they're technically easy to treat, but if it's, if it's a deeper burn, then yeah, you will have to be treated in a burn unit or a burn center. Okay? Yun lang. So, guys, if there is a burn, a partial thickness burn, it is treated with a cream. It can be silver sulfadiazine. There are newer creams or ointments now. One I know that one of my consultants before would promote is Mebo. There's this one ointment called Mebo, and it smells like sesame seeds. If you could get your hands on that, that's another one that treats burns. Okay. Do not put toothpaste, okay? I know silver sulfadiazine can look like toothpaste because some patients decide to treat their own burns. They go to the hospital, naglagay na ng toothpaste yung burn nila. They put toothpaste. Switch ka, thank you for the membership. Dok, ubos na Silvex natin. Pwede toothpaste lang. Hindi pwedeng toothpaste! Hindi nga pwede! Ano ba? Okay. Yeah, some people put toothpaste. I don't know why. I don't know where the toothpaste came from, but I think it's because it looks like silver sulfadiazine. So they put toothpaste. Do not put toothpaste, okay? Do not. Toothpaste din nalalagay ko sa paso ko. Huwag mong lagyan ng toothpaste! Anak ng baka! You don't put toothpaste. You put silver sulfadiazine cream, okay? Payag naman daw si JTR sa toothpaste. Ba yan? Okay. Alright. Next. Okay. Example 2. Guys. Okay, guys. You're gonna have to do this one. JTR, young adult male. So, you sent him home. Kanina, pinauwi nyo. He went home after the supporters treated his burn on his hand. Pero as soon as he opened the door to his house, sumabog yung bahay niya. Kasi yung kaibigan niyang si O was playing with explosives in his house. Si JTR pumunta sa supporter hospital ER ulit. Si O, di natin alam kung ano nangyari sa kanya. So, si JTR lang pumunta sa ospital. Okay. Okay. Ngayon, ito yung burn niya, guys. Okay? Guys, ito yung burn niya. Si O diniretso sa morgue. Anyway, di natin alam kung ano nangyari kay O kasi hindi siya pumunta sa ospital. Okay? Si JTR bumalik. And these are his burn injuries. Okay? So, okay, calculate na yung TBSA niya. I think that's the question. The question is, what is the total body surface area burned? Okay, TBSA niya. TBSA. Ako din magka-calculate kasi hindi ko kinalculate. Oh, wait lang. Calculate ko. It can be an estimate, by the way. So I'm gonna count it myself also. And if you're just close to what I have, then I'll consider it correct. Okay, I have one. I have already. Meron na ako. Okay, the one who has the closest number will get it. At least you guys already know this is 1%. Yung clue, you guys already know the hand is 1%. So, siguro naman, alam nyo to. Okay, someone says 21. Okay, someone says 21. 15, 16.5, 20, 17.5. Okay. Okay. Actually, yung na-calculate ko, okay, ito yung na-calculate ko, guys, okay? Calculate ko 19. I got 19. But if you're close to 19, that's okay. Okay? Medyo malayo yung 15, medyo malayo yung 15. 21 is okay. 20 is okay. 17.5 pwede na. Yeah, 17.5 pwede na. Okay. Basta gets yun naman. Okay? So from 2%, ito kasi 1% din to yung singit niya. When you interviewed JTR kasi, and you examined his body, napansin nyo nga may sunog siya dito. Pero, he never explained why he has a burn there, pero alam nyo may burn siya dun. Okay, ito kasi, I calculated this to be like 2.5. Parang ganun. It's an estimate anyway. 2. 9. Tama ba yung calculator? Anyway, it's really a rough estimate, okay? But as long as you're near 19, 20, that's right. Mabuhok. Baka 5% yung singit niya, di natin alam. Bakit magiging 5% yung singit niya? Okay. Let's just work with 19, okay? Let's work with 19%. Kunwari, yung sagot nyo is 19%, okay? Kunwari, 19. How much fluid does he need? If his TBSA, nga pala, yung timbang niya, hindi niyo pala natimbang. Let's say his TBSA is 19. Yung timbang niya, ano kaya? Ano ba timbang niya? Gawin nating 75. Yan. Yan yung timbang niya. Baka may lus-lus. Grabe naman, binibigyan. Lahat ng sakit binibigay. Okay, calculate, guys. Alam niyo naman yung formula, di ba? Or do you guys remember the formula? Sige na nga. Open notes. Ito na yung notes nyo, ha? Formula. We call it the Parkland formula, okay? Parkland formula. 4 times TBSA times, in kilograms, okay? Yeah. Binigyan kita na, I gave you guys some notes. Kunwari, 19 yung ano niya. Ako din magka-calculate kasi di ko alam. Okay. How much fluids does he need? Ilan fluids yung ibibigay nyo kay JTR? Kawawa tong si JTR eh. 5-7. Let's see. Nadagdagan na po ang timbang niya nung nilagyan natin ng 4-8. Okay, it's 5-7. Okay, the answer is 5-7. Okay, 5-7. So he needs 5-7. ml. Diba? So, you're gonna divide this into 2, right? So, for the first 8 hours, first 8 hours, how many ml total are you gonna give it? First 8 hours. Tapos, 16 hours. I-divide nyo lang to eh. You're just gonna divide this. How many ml per hour? Sige, how many ml per hour are you gonna give for 8 hours and then for 16 hours? Ako din, magka-calculate din ako. O, 2858. Okay, 2858 yung half, diba? 2858. So, 2850 pala. 2850. Oh, ilang ml per hour? Ml per hour. Ang ibibigay nyo sa kanya. I-divide nyo lang. 2850 ml per hour. No, it's not. It's not. 2850 is half of, diba? I-divide mo in half yung 57, right? But then you're gonna deliver it in 8 hours. Yung 2850 na yan. So, how many ml per hour yan? Tsaka how many ml per hour yung 16? Diba? Ayan, Bunbun got 356. Okay. So, for 8 hours, 356.25. Let's just say 356. O yan, eto. Kung 16, kung 16 hours? Itong switch con, sobra-sobra na yan in masyadong maraming tubig. 178. Okay, 178. So, let's say 178 na lang. Round off natin. 178. Yan. Okay, ito na. Ito yung sagot. This is what you give in the first 8 hours. And then in the next 16 hours. That's how much fluid you're going to give JTR. Okay? 2850 per hour. Tapos maririnig mo yung crackles. Kawawa naman. Nilunod nyo na si JTR. Kawawang JTR. Okay, yan yung sagot. See? That's how you are going to give his fluids. Okay? So, i-admit nyo na si JTR. Oh. Ngayon, guys, anong advice nyo naman kay JTR? Ngayon, since he came back, JTR came back, anong advice nyo sa kanya? Anong plan niya after giving him fluids? Anong i-advise nyo kay JTR? What are you guys gonna advise JTR as the doctors of Supporter Hospital? Wag ka na umuwi. Wag ka na umuwi. Oh, di ba? Wala na nga yung bahay niya, sumabog nga, di ba? Paano siya uuwi? Paano naman siya uuwi? Wala na siyang bahay. Magpakalayo na siya. Get better friends. Sunog uwi. Baka masabugan ulit. Magsutot. I-unfriend block niya si friend O. Resetahan na ng bomb disposal unit. Ano ba yan? Tanggal talaga na lisensya niyo. Tanggal talaga na lisensya niyo. Mahayop kayo. Magre-reklamo si JTR. Sasampan kayo ng kaso. Sasampan kayo ng kaso. Medical malpractice. Langya kayo. Mali niya, di naman akata accredited sa supporters. Gusto niya yan. Supporters Hospital yan yung pinakamalapit sa kanya Wala kang travel time Actually, you know what? When it comes to computing burns, you gotta, if there was a travel time from the time of burn to the time he got to the hospital, like, for example, he got burned, let's say JTR got burned at 8 a.m., tapos 2 hours bago siya nakapunta sa hospital, 8 a.m. burn, hospital, he got to the hospital at 10 a.m., you know, this first 8 hours, this is gonna change. Magiging 6 hours na lang to. It gets more complicated. It gets more complicated. So, yeah, ang mangyayari, instead of 8 hours, you're gonna be calculating 6 hours. So, you're gonna be giving more fluid in a span of 6 hours. But you're basically gonna be giving the same amount, itong 2,850. You're gonna be giving the same amount, but in a span of 6 hours. So, mas mataas. Okay, that's how it gets complicated, yeah. But I decided to keep it like this to make it simple for you guys, because it does get complicated. Okay. Walang pakila naman talaga ang lisensya. Walang PhilHealth. Walang PhilHealth. Oh, yan. Hindi PhilHealth accredited yung Supporters Hospital. Wala din naman siyang PhilHealth. Okay lang yan. Ganon din. Tapos cha-chargean nyo ng magkano PF nyo. Oh, magkano PF nyo kay JTR. Yung overcharge nyo pa siya. 15 billion. Google Pay accredited lang tayo. Grabe! Napakataas naman naman yung singil nyo. Billion tsaka million. Mas mataas yung singil nyo kaysa sa PF ko. Mas mataas yung PF nyo kaysa akin. Ang taas-taas ng PF nyo. Ano yan? Nagiya kayo. Nalaman mo sa DPW. Gago. Okay. We'll continue. We're gonna continue now. Okay? Next. So, diba? Okay. So, we know that JTR had this much burn. Okay? He had this much burn. Pero yung siguro dito, itong part na to, this one right here, for some odd reason, okay? For some weird reason, ito, third-degree burn. Diba? For some weird reason, dahil sa pasabog ni O, nagka-third-degree burn siya dito, yung 1% na yan. Third-degree burn. Okay? So, as JTR's doctors, hindi nyo na tinanong kung bakit nagka-third degree burn dyan. Basta nagka-third degree burn. Alright, so, kailangan siyang operahan. Okay? So, kailangan operahan. So, there are two ways to operate. Okay? One is debridement, one is skin grafting. Okay? So, let's assume na functional pa rin yan. He got a third-degree burn there, but it's still functional. All you have to do is just remove the burnt area and then do skin grafting. So, luckily for JTR, Si O. Si O is actually an organ donor. O is an organ donor. Kaya nga O eh. O stands for organ donor. So, i-donate may i-donate si O sa kanya. Okay? Okay. So, maswerte naman si JTR. Ay. May natira pa pala sa katawan ni O. Akala namin sumabog lahat. No, pinotektahan naman. His body was protected by his, I don't know if I should say. By his puppets! His PUP. He was protected by his puppets, guys. Puppets. Sabihin puppets na lang. Yan na lang, ha? Puppets na lang. With the U. Okay? They protected that area. Okay? Pinotect nila yun. Kasi for some reason, na-predict nila na may sasabog. Tapos, they predicted kasi na may sasabog. So, ayun. Protect nila. At yun yung yung puppets niya, okay? Okay. Lord drop. Okay, so anyway. Surgical treatment. So, for partial thickness burns, guys. Okay, partial thickness burns. You just need to remove all the dead or the burnt tissue. Okay, it is important for the wound to remain pinkish or red for it to heal properly. If it's a partial thickness burn, wound care is enough. But if it's a little bit deeper, then it might need debridement to remove all the, dead tissues or sometimes if it's a really deep burn, you have to excise the burnt area. And if you want to speed up healing, that's where skin grafting comes in. So, skin grafting is usually done by taking a sample skin, usually depending on the area. So, for example, dito sa forearm, you just take a skin sample from like the thigh, and then you ilalapat nyo lang, and then you tie it in. Okay? Now, the reason why they put holes or make it like a mesh is that so it moves around more freely. Kasi what you don't want is contracture. Kasi kung eto lang nilagay mo, tapos ganyan, nilapat nyo na walang butas, it's not as freely moving or mobile and not stretchy enough. It can result to contracture. Okay? Imagine, nanonood sila ngayon. No, what do you mean? Yung eto? What do you mean? They did it, they did what they have to do. Okay? Okay. So, yeah, I think this is my last slide, actually. Is my last slide? Yeah, it's my last slide. Okay, guys, do you have any questions? So, basically, in the end, na-save nyo si JTR. Okay? Na-save nyo si JTR. Any, questions, chat? Because we are pretty much done. Oh, you mean xenograft, right? Xenograft comes from another animal or species. We use autograft. Autograft is what we use. It's from the same person. Nabuhay pa. Syempre, nabuhay. Kayo naman. Actually, nabuhay din si O because he was protected by the puppets. He just didn't go to the hospital. Hindi siya pumunta sa supporter hospital, okay? Hindi siya pumunta sa supporter hospital kasi alam niya kung anong gagawin niyo sa kanya. Si JTR lang pumunta. Alam niya kasi kung anong gagawin niyo sa kanya. Sabi niya, si O may PhilHealth. Si O kasi may PhilHealth. Kaya pumunta siya sa PhilHealth accredited. Pumunta siya sa accredited na hospital. Si O dumiretso sa PGH. Ay. Nakauwi na ba ng matino si JTR? Oo, nakauwi naman kasi magaling kayo. Kayo yung nag-treat sa kanya. Okay. Oh, autograph. Oh, you mean... Oh, if it's coming from... If it is coming from O, then it is xenograft. Pero, kung galing sa balat mismo ni JTR, then it's an autograft. Okay. Na-harvest lang ba si O nang hindi niya alam? Yan kasi, what happened was, yung mga puppets niya, sila nagdala ng sila yung nagdala ng balat. They came to supporter hospital, may dala-dalang cooler tapos may balat na doon. may dala silang cooler. May spare na balat. Okay. So yeah, that is all for today's medical education stream. Okay? Thank you guys. I hope you guys learned a lot. Congrats JTR sa new foreskin. Yeah, since na buo ulit yung area na yan. Naging supot ulit. Supot pa rin siya. Supot pa rin si JTR. Kailangan piliin ulit. Okay. Thank you guys for coming to my burn stream. Yeah. And let's see, yung next stream ko, my next stream is gonna be on Twitch. Stream. I think my next stream on Saturday is Saturday already. Yeah, my next stream will be on Saturday. It will be a Tekken 8 stream. So Saturday night 9 PM Tekken 8 sa Twitch. Sunday night 9 PM is a Peak collab. I have a collab stream. I'll announce. Just wait for the announcement with whom I'm collabing with. I'm the one who organized it. I haven't organized a collab in so long. I finally organized one. But yeah, expect more collabs, I guess. So yes, I hope you guys learned a lot. Let's see, can I raid somebody? Okay, let me try raiding. Oh, Pan is... Okay, there's people streaming. Let's see if I can raid from here. This is my problem. I am never able to raid someone. Let's try raiding somebody. Paano ba ulit mag-raid dito sa YouTube? Here we go again. How to raid ulit sa YouTube? Oh my god. How do you raid on YouTube again? How to raid on YouTube? I forgot how. How to use okay. How to use live redirect. Go to Oh, okay. Go to studio, click on okay. Click on here. Tapos go to live tab. Tapos hover over the video you wanted to redirect from. Tapos edit. Oh, okay. Ito. How the okay, ito. Oh, redirect. Okay. Oh my god. Oh, we can. Oh wait, I can redirect. Let's go redirect to Pan. Let's see if we can go to Pan. Can I redirect to Pan? Oh, I think I can, guys. Okay, after that, ano bang gagawin ko? When you're live stream, you'll see confirmation. Okay, guys, we're gonna try redirecting to Pan. Okay, let's try. Let's see if it works. She's still streaming, yeah? She's still streaming. Baka naman ni-redirect ko, tapos hindi na siya nagsistream. Wait lang, double check ko, ah. She's still live, or did she... Okay, she's still streaming. Okay, let's go. We're gonna go to Pan, guys. Thank you guys for coming to my stream. Let's go. We're gonna go right now. Bye-bye, Otsupon. We'll go to Pan. Let's go!